Hi everyone, I'm Daniela and welcome back to Black Cat Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a royal treat for a royal occasion, the ultimate Victoria sponge cake. This sponge cake is the ultimate because we're adding a silky buttercream layer and we're stuffing it full of fresh fruit. It's perfect for any afternoon tea, barbecue, get-together, or if you're having a coronation party. Let's jump into the recipe.
You'll find a list of ingredients and measurements in the description below.
Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
To test your baking powder, pop a little bit into a small bowl and then cover with water. You're looking for it to fizz up, and that's how you know your baking powder is still good.
This is very important because the baking powder does a lot of heavy lifting in this recipe.
Into the mixing bowl goes 200 grams of soft salted butter. That's 3 1/4 cups plus 2 tablespoons, and 200 grams or 1 cup of golden castor sugar.
I'm using golden castor sugar in this recipe. It adds a little bit more depth of flavor, but if you haven't got it or can't find it, I've made this recipe with regular granulated sugar and it works just as well.
Set your butter and sugar to cream. You want this mixture to be really light and airy before we start adding in any other ingredients. If you're using a mixer, make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl from time to time so that it's all well incorporated. I'm switching to my whisk attachment to give it a little bit more air. After about 5 minutes of mixing, your mixture should be really creamy and light. Add in your eggs one at a time. With each egg, you'll add in 1 tablespoon of flour from the allotted flour in the recipe. You want to whisk at least 1 minute between adding eggs. Make sure you're continuously scraping down those sides as you go. Once all 4 eggs have been added, continue whisking at high speed until your mixture has tripled in size. Once your mixture has tripled, add in 4 grams or 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Add 3 teaspoons, 12 grams of baking powder to your remaining flour. Now sift the flour into your wet mixture.
I'm folding in my flour to keep the height and rise on those eggs. Be very gentle and delicate while you're folding it in.
Once you can no longer see streaks of flour, you want to test for consistency. The batter should easily drop off of a spoon, so if it's thick like mine is, add in a little bit of milk, about a tablespoon at a time until you get the right consistency. Mine took about 3 tablespoons of milk total. You can see the mixture is much thinner and it's starting to fall off the spoon a little easier. That's when you know it's ready.
I've buttered and lined 2 20cm 8-inch round cake tins. These ones are loose bottom, but you can use any old round cake tin. And if you're using any old round cake tin, I've linked my video in the description below that shows you how to easily line it with parchment paper.
Divide your batter between your 2 cake pans. Carefully spread the batter to the edges of your pan and they're ready to go in the oven.
These are going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes or until the skewer comes out clean.
While they're still warm, I like to run a butter knife around the outside of the cake. This makes sure that nothing sticks to the edge of the pan and that the cakes come out cleanly. You'll want to let these cool in their pans for about 10 minutes and then move them to a wire rack to cool completely.
Traditionally, this cake is just filled with a layer of raspberry jam, and it's really important that your raspberry jam has seeds in it. This helps to make sure the cake doesn't slide off. Today, we're going the extra mile and we're adding this silky smooth buttercream. But if you're not a fan of buttercream, you can always whip up some double cream with a little bit of icing sugar and use that instead. And if you want to be extra, you can make your own jam, and I've linked that in the description below.
To make your buttercream, add 80 grams or 1/3 cup of butter to a mixing bowl. Start that whisking until it's nice and smooth. Then sift in 160 grams, 1 1/3 cups of icing sugar. Add in a few drops of milk and give it a whisk. Start it on slow and then adjust your speed until you get to medium-high. You may need to add in a little bit more milk as you go for the right consistency. Once your icing sugar is silky smooth, spread it on your cooled cake. This is a perfect amount to fill the inside of one layered cake. Press your icing right to the edge of your cake. You want to be able to see it when we stack the next layer on top. Next, we're going to dollop some of our gorgeous raspberry jam on the top of our buttercream. I'm using about 3 to 4 tablespoons, and then spread that right to the edge of the icing. And because this is a celebration cake, we're going to fill it with fresh raspberries. I like to start by putting the raspberries around the edge and then filling in the center. Top your cake with your second sponge.
The top of your cake gets sprinkled with regular castor sugar. This gives a lovely crunch when you bite into the cake. Don't be tempted to use powdered sugar here. That's definitely not traditional.
And if you want, decorate with festive bunting and enjoy.
If you're looking to add to your afternoon tea, why not try my easy scones here? Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more amazing recipes, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.